Nigeria has an estimated population of 180 million and therefore the largest black population in the world. She has the largest road network in West Africa and second largest in South Sahara, with the national network currently estimated to be 194,200 kilometers, of which 34,120 kilometers are federal roads. With a projected growth of truck traffic, the demand for truck parking will continue to outpace the supply of public and private parking facilities as been experienced in many states in Nigeria. On this note, I warmly welcome you to Maritime Update. I am Norma Obiaswalo. This show on a weekly basis provides public enlightenment on the issues and developments within the maritime sector and its connecting industries. In this episode, Maritime Update will be bringing to you how the Nigerian Shippers Council is facilitating an innovation in the transport sector, which is intended to stimulate economic growth. First, issues and developments that made news in the sector. Stay with us. The Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, has directed shipping lines to transmit electronic manifest of their cargoes to the Nigerian Customs Service, NCS, and the Nigerian Port Authority, NPA, 7 days before the arrival of any vessel to the country. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, during a closed-door meeting with maritime stakeholders at the Nigerian Shippers Council headquarters, said the council in January came up with a national action plan and directed the Nigerian Shippers Council to look at the shipping firms with a view to reducing dwell time and ultimately reduce costs. According to Oduwole, the policy was being proposed to make the ports operate seamlessly and enhance cross-border trading.
What we're asking for is global best practice, and it's nothing beyond the shipping lines. They operate in other climates, and they've committed to us that they will indeed be sending in the manifest as requested. This is not something that is extreme. It's something that's done globally. There are some bits that we have to work on as well to make it easier for them, working with Shippers Council, working with Customs, and we've also committed to doing that. The whole PEBEC initiative is to collaborate with stakeholders and make sure that things are progressively easier, and this is to boost Nigeria's economy. So we've had very fruitful deliberations, and we're all agreed, committed with timelines on how to solve some of these challenges. So it was a very productive meeting.
Chairman of the Shipping Association of Nigeria, Val Osifo, while expressing the commitment of the shipping companies to work with the government to improve ease of doing business in the country, noted that the delay in the issuance of rotation number by customs was one of the bottlenecks that must be addressed.
It's workable. It's workable. The challenge we have is the system has to be fine-tuned. What governs it is that when the ship comes, they need a rotation number. And what has been agreed that once the bulk of the manifest has been loaded and it has a rotation number, we are suggesting that that rotation number should be maintained for wayports that are cargo that is coming from wayports, which means if that ship passes through Cape Town, for instance, and we have a lot of cargo being transshipped from Cape Town, you don't need to give another rotation number. It's just adding to the manifest. So an importer knows that these are the details I need to fill, and it goes on.
In his remarks, the Executive Secretary and CEO, Nigerian Shippers Council, Hazam Bello, said the council has been assigned to ensure and moderate the transmission of shipping lines manifest to NPA and Customs before arrival of vessels to Nigeria. He also noted that it was the duty of the government to ensure conducive atmosphere for business to thrive in Nigeria, adding that the cooperation and support of stakeholders will help move the industry forward.
In line with the action plan to drive the federal government's ease of doing business, the PBEC announced the approval of National Action Plan on 30th January. Critical initiatives were assigned to different agencies, and the Nigerian Shippers Council was assigned to look at some operations of the shipping companies. For example, to ensure mandatory transmission of shipping line manifest to MPA and Nigerian Customs Service maximum 7 days before arrival of vessel to Nigeria. enforce the issuance by shipping lines of rotation numbers for all incoming vessels maximum 5 days before vessel arrival into Nigeria.
The Apapa Command of the Nigerian Customs Service says it has collected 24.80 billion naira in February, up from 24.76 billion naira recorded in the corresponding period of 2017. According to the Public Relations Officer of the Command in Kiruwala, the Command generated 55.81 billion naira between January and February 2018, up from 50.72 billion naira from what it generated in the corresponding period of 2017. The Command had increase of 5.09 billion naira from what it generated between January and February 2018, compared to the 2 months under review in 2017. The Nigeria Customs Service spokesperson explained that the increase in the February revenue was made possible with the leadership qualities of the Customs Area Controller, Jibril Musa. Wala appealed to port users to have total compliance with rules governing the nation's seaports, while assuring that officers will follow due process of cargo clearing procedures. Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Dakuko Peterside, has been honored by the City People magazine for his sterling performance and recognition of his milestone achievement in office after just 2 years. Peterside was honored at the 21st edition of the awards held in Lagos. Other eminent Nigerians in business and government were also honored. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode, Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun, Rochas Okoracha of Imo State, and his Gombe State counterpart Ibrahim Dakombo. Peterside, who believes the City People Awards is a special award to him because of the integrity of the organizers, also said the maritime sector has the capacity to speed up the economic growth of Nigeria, and NIMASA is not resting on its oars until everybody acknowledges the fact that maritime is a catalyst for accelerated economic development. If you have just joined us, this is Maritime Update reaching you courtesy of the Nigerian Shippers Council. For details, please reach the Nigerian Shippers Council on our email or website, or better still, text the number on your screen. Do you know that the Port Service Support Portal, PSSP, is a complaint management and service support solution aimed at addressing business-to-business transaction problems in Nigerian ports? Here's how to use it.
Welcome to Port Support Services, otherwise called the PSSP. The PSSP, as it is popularly known, is an initiative of the Nigerian Shippers Council created to serve the public better. Just to help you navigate the portal, first log on to the website www.pssp.ng. There you'll find the basic information about PSSP, information on partners of the project standard operating procedure of the partners of the PSSP, and frequently asked questions, contact information. With the PSSP of the Nigerian Shippers Council, members of the public will be able to make complaints using the complaint form, track the status of the complaint, and make inquiries or give a feedback using the contact form. To submit a complaint, open your web browser and type www.pssp.ng. The home page will load. Click on the Make a Complaint. The login page will display, but you will need to be registered on the portal to be able to submit a complaint. If it's the first time of submitting a complaint, click on either the Register button or the Register link. To register, you will need to apply your email address, display name and password. After completing these fields, you should click on the Register button. If you have previously created an account, simply log in by supplying your email address and password. After you have successfully logged in, you should see the complaint form. The system assumes you are the main complainant. The complaint form has 5 sections: complaint details, service provider details, event or service description, other details, complaint description. In addition, you will find a yes and a no button, and this is how it works. Using the yes or no button indicates you are complaining on behalf of a company. If you're complaining on behalf of someone, you have to give us their details by clicking on the Add Detail button, then click on the Next button. From the pop-up list, select the type of company your complaint is about from the agency list and select the company from the companies list.
Thanks for being with us. In a bid to jumpstart the economic diversification of our economy, Nigerian Shippers Council is promoting trade by identifying 6 corridors that Truck Transit Park will situate. In this interaction with our guest of the week, Glory Onojedo, the Deputy Director, Public-Private Partnership Nigerian Shippers Council, tells us more about this project. Stay with us. To address the infrastructural deficits in the country through the PPP, which is the Public-Private Partnership, which is in line with the federal government's policy direction, Nigerian Shippers Council is promoting the development of the TTP project across the country. What exactly is the Truck Transit Park?
The Truck Transit Park is a federal government initiative to provide a place for temporary rest for truck drivers who are on long distance travel. They can also do servicing of their trucks. They can have shelter. They can also do there can be things like warehousing at the truck transit parks. There will also be welcome centers for shopping. As you well know, when a driver is on a long distance travel, they have needs. From time to time, they want to take shower. They want to take rest. So a truck transit park is a facility just off a highway where truck drivers can park, take rest, have there will be restaurants where they can have food, even fuel the vehicle, do minor maintenance before they move on.
Can you in details tell us about this TTP project and what are the potentials or the anticipated benefits of the proposed project being promoted by the Nigerian Shippers Council?
The benefits of the truck transit park are so numerous. Every strata of society that you look at, you will see a need for a truck transit park addressing a particular area of that strata of society. Let's look at the road sector. It is common knowledge that our roads are bad. Yes, the present government is doing so much to repair the roads and make them motorable. But presently, you will find that there are still so many roads that are bad. Truck Transit Park will address the degradation of roads, because presently when truck drivers are on transit, they don't have a place to park. So they park on road shoulders. And when they park on road shoulders, sometimes when the vehicles go bad, what they do is that they just get a tire and set fire on it to provide warning for oncoming vehicles at night. The process of doing that destroys the road. With a truck transit park, you will no longer have that, because the driver now have a place where they can park their vehicle and do repairs. Anywhere you see truck drivers park, they use the bushes and all that as a place where they pass their waste, have their baths, and that degrades the environment. Truck Transit Park will address that, because you now have a place where they can take their baths, they can use the toilets and so forth. If you look at safety and security of cargo in transit, which is a major thing for shippers and for those who are in the transport sector, Truck Transit Park will provide a safe and secure place for the parking of trucks and tankers in such a way that the cargo is secured and there is security for both life of the drivers and whoever is traveling on that road corridor.
Taking a holistic look, what are the expectations of the players in the TTP project?
Well, the expectation of the players, there are several players. There will be those who will provide the service, and there will be those who are going to use the service. The truck drivers are the service users. Their expectation is to have a truck transit park where there are enough facilities that will provide for the needs of drivers. And of course, they also expect that because it is a government promoted projects, that the cost of using those places is affordable. That is the expectation of service users.
Okay.
But of course, for service providers, they also have their expectations. Like, they are coming with their investment. They are going to make investment. They expect to recover those investments with some returns. The idea of doing PPP is to have what we call value for money. Value for money entails that for whatever amount that is spent, there is an appropriate value that both the users and service providers will derive from it.
You've enumerated so many benefits of this truck transit park. Then what exactly will be the benefits of the investors?
The motivating reason why any investor will want to go into truck transit park is for profit.
Okay.
And because it is by way of PPP, it means there will be a concession. Okay. And that concession will be for a long term. And during that period, the investors will recover, are expected from the user charges being paid. They are expected to recover their investments and also to make an adequate return on their investment during the concession period. So the motivating thing for investors is, of course, the profits.
Where will this project be located, and what are the expected facilities at the proposed parks?
Okay, talking about the locations, any road corridor in Nigeria is deserving of a truck transit park, and it is easy. If you travel by road, and we all travel by road, it is perhaps the major means of transportation in Nigeria, both for persons as well as for cargo. The locations are on the road corridors, but in the first phase of implementation, and based on the feasibility study which the Nigerian Shippers Council commissioned, the first locations will be Ogere in Ogun State, Jeba in Kwara State, Lokoja in Kogi State, Obolafo in Enugu State, Maraban Jos in Kaduna State, Onitsha in Anambra State, and the Port Novo Creek in Lagos State, and one other one. But for purpose of implementation, what Nigerian Shippers Council have done is to take 2 of these locations for a start, and that is Lokoja and Obolafo in Enugu State. Okay. And in those 2 places, we have already secured land. The state government gave land for these projects.
Wow, interesting. As
I speak with you, the land in Lokoja has been cleared and is being marked. What is being done in those places is to bring the project to a level that will make them attractive to the private sector. But apart from this, there are so many other road corridors where truck transit park will eventually emerge. For example, like in Edo State, you have the Benin bypass. It's always a nightmare to pass through that place. Ogere is the same thing. Then there is Aviele, also in Edo State. That is also a place. And in these places, the state government have already given lands for the project.
Who are those expected to use these parks?
The nomenclature we are using for now is truck transit park. But it is, the facilities are not meant for the truckers alone. We also expect that buses will use the place. I mean, the coaches that you have all around, when they are traveling on a trip, they can always park and take rest, refresh themselves. It's already currently being done, albeit in a very local way. Okay. If you have to travel from Lagos, for example, to Benin, if you get to Ore, there is a place where people park. You know, these buses, they park, and you walk into the restaurant, you eat, you go and use the convenience and all that. So it is not just the trucks. The coaches, the buses will also use it. Even small cars, you can leave Lagos at 6 p.m., at 7 p.m. and say you are going to Benin. Not because you want to arrive Benin that same day, but you know fully well that by the time you get to a place like Ore, there is a truck transit park. So you can move into the place, park your vehicle, take your night rest, and by the following morning, you drive off.
Looking at this analysis you've mentioned here now, what will you say is the expected startup time for the project?
Okay, we expect...
Or you are taking it in batches?
For Obolafo in Enugu State and Lokoja and in Kogi State, as I did say, the land has been cleared, and we'll go ahead to start doing the marking and topographic survey. But after that, the transaction advisors are already preparing the business case. Thereafter, we'll go to the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission to obtain the certificate of compliance for the business case. When that is obtained, we will now approach the Federal Executive Council for approval of the business case. Okay. Thereafter, we will go to procurement. The procurement is when the concessionaire will now be procured. Of course, it's going to be a transparent, open, competitive bidding process. It will be advertised in newspapers with wide circulation so that there will be expression of interest, and thereafter there will be evaluation of the bids.
Heavy traffic is being experienced in Apapa Essex Road, and trucks are being parked on the bridges, which ultimately will affect the bridges. What role will TTP play to alleviate this gridlock?
Let me start by saying that government is already doing something to address the gridlock on Apapa roads. If you go to Apapa, you'll find that the roads are being reconstructed, and the government is also refurbishing the rail lines so that evacuation of cargo from the ports will be mostly by rail. But having said that, presently, yes, those trucks, they are all there, clogging all the access roads into Apapa and making it difficult for smaller vehicles to access Apapa. Indeed, it's a nightmare. For most people, they will tell you, if they have an appointment, they need to come to Apapa, they tell you it's not a place they want to go to, and all because of those trucks that are there. Now, Truck Transit Park will also serve as marshalling yards for trucks. If you have a truck transit park in Ogiri, for example, then it makes it easy to operate a call-up system, because all the trucks that are coming into Apapa, that are coming to either the tankers that are going to the tank farms, or the trucks that are going to drop their empty containers at the port, or to take containers from the port, they can actually park at the truck transit park. And with a call-up system, it is when they have been scheduled, they will be called up to come to the port. That way, you won't have all these trucks that are all over the place. But again, let me also say that not all the trucks you see in Apapa have businesses in Apapa. Yes. A study showed that there are about 7,500 trucks that are hovering around what is called the Apapa logistic ring. The logistic ring, if you start from a place like, say, the Nigerian flour mills, and you move from flour mills to Ijora, and you move from Ijora to Orile, and you move from Orile to Maitu, you move from Maitu to Tinkan, from Tinkan to Apapa Wharf, and from Wharf you go back to flour mills. That is a ring. That section of Lagos is called Apapa Logistic Ring. Now, this study showed that about 7,500 trucks and tankers are hovering around this place at any point in time. But the total needs of all the tank farms and the two ports is just about 2,500. What that means is that there are about 5,000 trucks that are just hovering around while their principals are canvassing for business. But if you do have a truck transit park, those trucks will not come into Apapa. It means they will be parked at the truck transit park, and only those that are coming to either pick fuel from the tank farms, or to drop containers at the ports, or to pick up cargo from the port will come into Apapa. And of course, this nightmare, as you do refer to it, will disappear completely.
I must thank you most kindly for coming on Maritime Update. It's been Glory Onojedo. He is the Deputy Director, Public-Private Partnership of the Nigerian Shippers Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam.
And that's a wrap on the show this week. We must thank you most kindly for being a part of this week's edition on Maritime Update. This show promises to bring you a better package next week. For more details, you can contact the Nigerian Shippers Council on our email, website, or text the number showing on your screen. You can also view this episode or any of our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, Maritime Update. I must say thank you to Nigerian Shippers Council and my production crew for making this week's edition a success. I am Norma Opiaswalo. Until I come your way again next week, it's goodbye.